Good morning. I'm Rao Ivatury. I'm the Executive Director of the Panamerican Trauma Society. And I would also like to welcome you to this 25th anniversary of our society. It's great to be back in Colombia. They say that this is my second home country. And I want to acknowledge all the wonderful and hard work that was put in by the Association of Colombian Trauma Surgeons to make this meeting possible. I see many past presidents in the audience. I also see many future presidents in the audience. So I think it's a great pleasure to be here to talk about some of the things that Maria already talked to us about, the direction of the Association of Colombian Trauma Surgeons. Now I want to talk about some of the agenda that we have set up for the society. And as we can see, I don't need to introduce trauma to this audience. It's really an international problem with increasing proportions. And you can see that the staggering statistics, not only in terms of deaths, but also in terms of disability. And you can see that Colombia has the unfortunate distinction of also leading in interpersonal violence. And this seems to be increasing on a daily basis. So our mission as a society has been to exchange ideas and knowledge and information among all these healthcare providers, physicians, nurses, pre-hospital personnel, and all the other people involved in the care of the injured patient, not only in North America, but also in Central and South America. This is that mission that was started after an inspirational lunch, as they called it, in Mexico, by Dr. Armando Baquero, Aurelia Rodriguez, among others. And shortly afterwards, it led to this 1986 first founders meeting in Bogota, Colombia, under the leadership of Dr. Francisco Holguin. I had the great opportunity and privilege of being there at that time. And you can see Dr. Young, Dr. Moore, Dr. Rodriguez. And since then, we have come a long way. We have now a total of more than 2,000 members, of whom about 2,000 nearly are active members. And you can see that this represents many, many countries around the entire globe. So the 25th Annual Congress is promising to be a very inspirational, very accomplished meeting that we're going to have. And once again, it is a great pleasure to be back in Medellin, which, as we know, has a rich, unfortunate history of violence in the past, but since has become as they call it, a city of hope and inspiration. And now it is a very peaceful, beautiful garden city, and it's a great pleasure to be here. These are some of the broad sketches of our agenda, and I touched upon this a little bit last year, and I'm going to expand on that a little bit today. I'm going to leave a lot of what we have accomplished in these various areas to Dr. Utanos, who is the Secretary-Treasurer, who is going to follow me. Most importantly, we are here to improve optimal patient care. And the society, as a group of surgeons and interested healthcare personnel, believes in this mission very strongly. They also have this philosophy that any improvements in the care of the injured patient, no matter how poor the resources are, how poor the country is, can be done if only we organize ourselves, we plan ourselves, and we have a common goal. So one of the first things we need to do as healthcare personnel is to educate ourselves so that we become more and more proficient in our knowledge and practice of medicine. And towards this mission, we have an increasing number of courses that are being offered. For instance, yesterday we had a very successful pre-Congress course day where we had offered about 8 courses in basic ultrasound, advanced ultrasound, going all the way to surgical techniques in trauma. And these are becoming more and more popular. And these are examples of some of the places that we were in yesterday for this basic trauma course and the surgical skills course. And this is the Veterinary Institute operating room where the students had an opportunity to practice techniques in trauma. And this annual Congress also is promising to be a great venue for educational exchange, which is one of our major missions of the society. If you look at the program, Dr. Fernandez has accumulated a total of 54 international experts, 14 national experts, and this program consists of North versus South panels, which you'll find very, very interesting, 8 pre-Congress courses, as I mentioned already, and most importantly, paper competitions from students, from residents, from general members, for which there are selected prizes that will be given away, and then scientific and technical exhibits where we participate and encourage active exchange of ideas. And this is a two-way exchange between North American countries and Latin American countries. And some of the examples are listed here. Some of great advances in trauma care have come from places like Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, and so on and so forth, as well as North America. So our specialty is rich in this field of exchange of ideas. And most importantly, we need to create, nurture, develop, and advance our team of healthcare personnel, including nurses, paramedics, which will be another important goal for this society in the coming years. We also have a two-way exchange program for young surgeons and young students and residents. International observership program for South American professionals in North American trauma care in some of the universities that are listed there, where they come and look at trauma system development, pre-hospital trauma care, critical care, etc. And in return, we anticipate that some of the North American surgical residents can come to South American countries where they have a rich operative experience so they can share and learn from them. One of the other things that we have done, and we are very proud of, is the weekly teleconferences that the Ryder Institute from Miami sponsors under the flagship of the Panamerican Trauma Society. This is a weekly difficult case management where about 20 different centers from around the globe participate, talk about their way of managing these patients, which is a rich, valuable experience for everybody there. I'm also proud to announce that Antonio Martos, who is in charge of this, is actually sitting there, and he's going to televise these proceedings of this annual Congress to anybody all over the world who could not be here to participate. And then we have concentrated on developing adjunctive techniques in areas that South American countries have lagged behind. The classic examples are the interventional radiology, non-invasive control of bleeding. And my partner, Dr. Ferrada, has taken on this task of actually circulating a survey through all the South American senior surgeons, asking about their ideas about interventional radiology. So this, we anticipate, will become a white paper, and we will welcome input from any of you, all of you, so that we as a group can develop that valuable field of interventional radiology in South America. Just an example. We have defined problem areas such as lack of trauma data in an accurate fashion. So we have created a trauma registry that's being piloted now in a large part of Colombia, as well as Brazil and other areas. And if this becomes a valuable tool to collect data so that we can really define the areas we need to concentrate on. We have concentrated on injury and violence prevention, public education, and legislative support, just like Dr. Fernandez already mentioned. We know that there is a lot of variability of trauma patients, mechanisms of trauma needs between different countries and within South American countries. There are urban areas, rural areas, jungle areas with their own specific problems. And we are going to define that, and we are going to address those interventions appropriately. And here is an example. Most importantly, I want to mention that we are actually involved and welcome these local societies that all of us are part of. We really want to know them. We want to develop a relationship with them in a collaborative fashion. We want to encourage partnership out of mutual respect to share our knowledge of different fields so that they can participate in our society and we can participate in theirs. We are trying to improve the academics by actually recruiting series, publications, and cumulative data from different South American countries. We have started a journal of Panamerican journal, where recently we have already had 2 issues on the web, and we welcome all of you to write articles for those. We're going to encourage scientific presentations, publications, research. And this is a journal that I strongly hope that you will own, that you will consider that as your journal, where you can actually participate. And we are willing to take any kinds of publications, ideas that you have, whether it be a comment, whether it be a letter to the editorial, or a collector review, anything that you think is worthwhile sharing the knowledge with others in our society. Please contribute. And most importantly, we want to energize our youth. We want to leave a legacy of the Pan American Trauma Society that the young people in the audience can pick up and then develop and better some of the missions that we have already talked about. Our board is very young and very energetic. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same thing about our committees. They are young, but they are lethargic. So I strongly request and urge all of you in the committees to own the society, own your committee, develop ideas, present it to the board, ask for help. Whatever you need, we will try to give it to you. But it is your duty to develop that committee, report periodically to the executive committee and the board, and make sure that you realize some of your goals. We have resident and student chapters. One of the things that I'm very, very proud of is our medical student chapter that you will see has its own little program in the program committee. It has a president, vice president, and these are people who actually got together and created this medical student chapter of the society across different countries. And they created lots of paper competitions, got some prizes last year, as you recall. We're going to repeat that this year again. And on Saturday, you'll have this wonderful vision of all these young people receiving acclaim and gifts, presents for their excellent work. We want to energize our youth. We want to become, we want them to become members of the board and also create their own societies. A classic example is the Trauma League. And under the tutelage of Dr. Gustavo Fraga, the people in Brazil got together and created these trauma leagues, which is composed by a group of students with a very common area of interest. And that is the purpose of improving knowledge about trauma. They have some senior advisors, but they do all the work. And this is hopefully become widespread throughout South America as well as North America. And this will be a very important thing, advance for our society. We have had our problems. The biggest problem we faced was Hurricane Hugo, just 1 year after this society was founded. So actually that meeting in Puerto Rico had to be canceled. But we realized it, we struggled through it, we survived for 25 years, and we are here still today. So thank you all for coming. And it's been not all work. You see there's lots of fun involved here. We have lots of nice parties, lots of dancing parties. So you're all welcome to it. This will be your gift for attending the society meetings and working hard. So just to pick up a slogan from our last US elections, forward. Thank you very much.